Hey, Bentbrook here. I'm in my full Rambo mode tonight. I am in the Uwharries. I'm on the Robbins Branch trailhead, and I am just now heading out for an overnighter. You may have seen that I posted a video about my loadout earlier, but I'm looking forward to finishing up some testing that I've been doing for about, I don't know, almost the better part of a year now on the Heli Mandra, which is the neck knife that I have right here. And it is evening. It is about 7:30, and I am just starting down this trail. A lot of cars in the parking lot, which means I'm going to have competition for campsites, but I'm okay with that. Hey, 5:05, I've just come into, well, I say 5:05, about 5.5 minutes into my walk, I've come to the first familiar site, which is the sign that designates where the trail goes when it splits up here, and I'll show you that in a second. I'm going to be heading to the right branch because I know there are a lot more campsites that way, and there's water that way, and there's not the kind of uphills initially that there are if I go left. So hold on a sec. All right, here we go. So I'm going to head to the right to the Burkhead Mountain Trail, towards it anyway. Probably not going to get all that way, but we'll see. If there's a bunch of campers out, I will. And the Hannah's Creek Trail, I'm headed to Hannah's Creek because it's a perfect place to camp. So hopefully I can find a campsite there soon. All right, we're at that hour of day where the last little bit of sunlight is high enough up to get through the trees, as I think you can see the bottom of that tree there. Otherwise, it's pretty quiet tonight. It's beautiful watching the light at this hour of the day. Up ahead, I can see it coming through the trees. Crickets just beginning to sound. Beautiful hour. Redundancy. Okay, here we are coming up on Robbins Branch, actually. This little creek here is Robbins Branch. Something just moved in the water, which is giving it a little bit of a shimmer, but as you can see, it's not terribly hard to get across to the other side without getting wet. I have been down here though after heavy rains, when this was a roaring torrent, when it was freezing cold in the early spring after spring rains, and that was fun too. But anyway, as you can see, the path continues over here, and I'm going to figure out if anybody's camping around here. I may camp fairly close to this spot going along this trail over here, so we'll see. But anyway, I'm at Robbins Branch, and I can hear the juncture with Hannah's Creek not too far off, so that's where I'm going to look and see if anybody's camping there. Catch up with you soon. All right, here's the creek. Here's the way I'm headed along this trail. Lots of things moving. That was a little frog. All right, I'm gonna put this up so I can focus. Okay, it's been a while since we've had real rain, but where I am right now, this is Robbins Branch, and this is Hannah's Creek, and this is where the two of them meet and then head off down that way. chili mac. There we go. Snickers for dessert. All right, let's see what we got here. This meal requires 3/4 of a cup of boiling water. I have indexed a little mark in here. Get it up to 3. So I'll guesstimate. Okay. All right. Light my fire, Army 2.0. Black feather knives, black lure. Carry a little piece of wire here to go on top, just to make it more stable. All right, dinner will be ready soon. So tonight meal is chili mac with beef, which is spicy sauce with macaroni, beef, and beans, and I have some cheese I'm going to add to it. And just added the boiling water to it, 3/4 of a cup. So according to the directions, I've got to let it sit for 4 minutes and then stir it again and let it sit 8 to 9 minutes. I can do that. And get this to focus here. Okay, this is it just says Cordura Classic, but this is the Sea to Summit tent stake bag. You can see through it, right? It's very lightweight sil nylon. It's got a nice little light cinch cord, a loop here that you can attach it to something, but most importantly, a reinforced bottom here to handle basically the pressure of the stakes. So far, I'm liking this a lot. Okay, bent brick here again. I'm not going to try to attempt to get this on camera because it'd be absolutely impossible. But one of the things that I'm enjoying down here in the creek bottom are the fireflies. They're out, and it's just like magic looking around. Everywhere you look, you see a little flash of light, and it's another firefly. Just another beautiful reason. With no rain in the forecast, I'll be able to go to bed in my hammock without a tarp on, and I can look at the fireflies until they go, dark. As you can see behind me, the last light of day, and soon, dinner. So a beautiful evening here. Just wanted to kind of share part of that with you all. All right. So I have let this sit for a while to thicken up. It's still a little bit runny, so I put too much water in. But I have some cheese. This is Mexican cheese. So all of that is now going into my chili mac. And that'll thicken things up. Yeah, that'll be good. Gooey goodness. I'll zip that back up just a little bit more. This chili mac with beef sit for a second longer before I eat it. Okay, it's after dinner. Let me tell you that chili mac with added Mexican cheese mix is phenomenal. Oh my gosh, I made it too watery, but it was perfect. Anyway, here's my stuff. I'm going to try to see if this will work. Going up here, it's my Lucy light. But somewhere up here, you can barely make it out. But what you can barely make out there is the moon above the trees. There's heavy canopy here, but it's absolutely beautiful. So while I have my own little Lucy light here. Lacy light, I'm not sure what they're called. And it does a good job of lighting my little workspace. The moon is absolutely gorgeous this evening. Good morning. Sun is just up. It is 6:23, and I'm just getting going in my camp this morning. Breakfast skillet this morning. One of the best Mountain House meals. I'm hiking up from the creek bottom on my way out, and it goes up a few hundred feet here. That's my guess anyway. So, just thought you might like to see that sunlight. Trail down and behind. And 7:30, the sun has breached the top of the mountain. And it's still not too hot. It's in the 60s here, 67 right now. The trail up is now lit by this dappled sunlight. Beautiful time of morning. People who never get up early don't get to enjoy these kinds of things, so hope you all enjoy it watching. I stopped for the woodpecker and I spooked a white-tailed deer. I don't know if the camera got that. I'll see if you all can. He's still up there. She's still up there. Just snorted at me. Very insistent woodpecker. Wondering if I split up some deer by walking across the path here. I'll keep my eyes open. Back to another section that has sunlight breaking through. These are old mountains, and so consequently when you walk a little ways you tend to walk past another ridge, and because the trail twists and turns, it'll open up and all of a sudden you'll have sunlight coming through again. Walk a little farther, you're on the backside of a ridge and it's still heavenly cool and dark. So as we get out to the parking area here, which is where I'm headed, the trail opens up more, the forest is younger. Oh, look at this. A little something for perspective. Those weren't there last night, so at some point this morning, something spooked a whitetail. Could have been me along the trail. So a few summers ago I went and I did an animal tracking camp with a guy named Rob Spiden up in Virginia, and highly recommend it. I think it's called the either Natural Awareness or Nature, I think it's Nature Awareness School. Super guy. I'm going to do it again at some point if I can. It was a fabulous, fabulous experience, but I learned a lot in a short amount of time, and I purchased some other books since then to learn more about how to interpret tracks and how to recognize and identify tracks. And what I was looking at back there is something that some trackers called pressure release, and that's when an animal has moved swiftly and kicked up some dirt, and that's apparently what that deer was doing, and that made me the depth of that track relative to others in the area made me hypothesize that it had come out on the trail and had leaped and had been going either at a good pace or had for some reason gotten spooked on the trail. Maybe it heard me coming. Could have been that close. I didn't hear it though. Squirrels. Okay. So anyway, it's interesting to try to interpret the tracks and what they tell you about the animals around you. Okay. Good morning. It is now 7:55. I am obviously back at the trailhead. Had a nice little walk out where I spooked a deer, and when I paused for trying to record the sound of a woodpecker, I don't know if the pattern of woodpeckers allows you to determine the species, but I'm going to try to research that and I'll let you know if I find anything out. So it was a good little overnight. I'm really happy with my pack, the Climate 35 I think, Motion 35. It is extremely comfortable. It is a pack that uses an air frame, basically an inflatable blue plastic sleeve that allows you to adjust the amount of air and therefore the amount of stiffness in the pack. But like I said yesterday, loaded up with axe and saw and 1.5 liters of water and all this kind of stuff. It weighed 22.6 pounds, I believe it was, and considerably lighter this morning, in part because I went through basically almost all my water, and that's good, that's to be expected. But it carries really well and stays on my back, allows me, you know, if I'm ducking or climbing over a log or something like that, it stays where it's supposed to really nicely. So I think this is definitely going to be my go-to pack for summer camping. It's perfect for a hammock setup when you don't really have to worry about changes of clothes. There are a couple things I didn't even bother to bring this trip, like a raincoat. I knew it wasn't going to rain, and if it did rain, I didn't really care if I got wet. I could always get under a tarp and, you know, stay dry, wrap up in one of my blankets until I dried out. But the reality was I didn't even use the tarp that I brought, didn't have to hang it up. So actually there's a lot of weight. I probably could have been down around 15 pounds by the time I stripped off a lot of stuff that I didn't need on this particular trip. I ended up, it's hard to explain. I love building fires and things like that, but this trip there was something about the calm and the peacefulness of the location by the creek. I didn't feel like disturbing the silence with a saw or an axe or anything like that. So that was literally dead weight I just carried. I did use knives, obviously, but that'll be a separate video in terms of talking about the mandra at some point. But anyway, that was my quick overnight to the Robbins Branch trailhead, and a choice little campsite off of Hannah's Creek, which is pretty low water right now. But thank you for coming along. I hope you enjoyed the scenery. I hope you, if you're stuck in a everyday sort of 9 to 5 and are just wanting to get out camping, as I have been for quite some time, I hope this was a nice little break for you. So I guess that's about it. I'm back on the road now, so I'll be home within an hour, and that's kind of a sad thing, but I've got things I've got to do today. So I appreciate you watching, and hope you have a good day. Bentbrook out.